we can go ahead and start our meeting for tonight. I'd like to welcome everyone to our town council meeting. Today is Wednesday, March the 13th, and it is the meeting of the mayor and town council. Could everyone stand or salute the flag as we begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome to our town council meeting. At this time, we just follow it by a pause for a moment of silence. We can do so now. Thank you so much. All right, welcome, council. We have our council and myself, Mayor Tracy Gant, and our council, Council Member Tuberville, Council Member Serrano, and Council Member McCulley are present tonight. I do not believe Miss Avery is here tonight. Is Miss Avery here? I don't know. We have
Daria is filling in.
Daria, okay. Hi, Daria. Thanks for sitting in for Miss Avery, who is in on leave for a few days. We'll start off our meeting. I see that there are some numbers that are not recognizable. It may be from a citizen that would like to speak or make comments. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Before we begin with our agenda, I'd like to make an adjustment to our agenda with the approval of council. I'd like to, hold on one moment, Ellen. I'd like to, on the agenda, well, for one thing, the council will go into a closed session at the end of this meeting. And then also, oh, okay, is it on there? The 4E, I'd like to table 4E, the discussion about amending the town's charter to allow all residents who have primary home in Edmonston to be registered to vote in the local elections. I'd like to table that so that we can have further discussion. And that was introduced by Council Member Serrano, and she'd like to table that this evening. So I'd just like a motion to approve our agenda tabling. Well, first of all, I'd like a motion to table 4E.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Tuberville. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And then I'd like a motion to amend the agenda as stated, removing 4E.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Serrano. In a second.
Second.
Thank you so much. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. All right, as we move forward again, we have citizens that may be here that want to speak. And if you'd like to share your name and your address, we'd be happy to provide you 3 minutes to chime in from maybe something you've heard, something you'd like to say to the council. I'm opening the floor now. You can virtually raise your hand if you like, or just chime in and say hello. All righty. Thank you very much. And even if, I'd just like to also say, even if it's something that we just removed from the agenda, such as item E, if you were on to provide comments to that, you can still do so. All righty, then we will move on. The next item is our new business, which is our meeting minutes from February the 14th. And it is for our work session meeting minutes, as well as our town council regular meeting minutes. And at this time, I'll accept a motion to approve February 14th town council work session and regular meeting minutes.
I move we approve both.
Thank you, Ms. Turbeville. And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Serrano. All in favor of approving our town council meeting minutes, please say aye.
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 Wonderful, thank you. The next item is B, the consideration of approval of the final set of general orders for the police department. Whew. Chief?
Thank you, thank you. Finally, it's been a long, 4 to 6 months trying to complete this manual. I appreciate everyone for giving me the input and feedback as we roll through each policy. This is the last set of policies before, every time you guys, or when you guys do approve them, I submit it to Lexapoo and they get pushed out immediately to the offices. So thank you guys again for always giving me the feedback in order to relate to Lexapoo to see how we can critique our policies to fit Edmonston's policies just for us. So this will be the last batch. Once this batch is approved, I'll send it to Lexapoo and it will be the completion of our general orders. And we will go ahead and post them as required by state law on our website and anything else that we need to post some more.
Fantastic. Thank you for your leadership in that, Chief, and just getting that out to us and just going, agreeing to do it the way we were requesting you to do so. So thank you for working with us. At this time, I'll accept a motion to approve the final set. And if necessary, we can have a quick discussion about it and final approve. So I'll accept the motion to approve the final
I'll make the
set.
motion.
Thank you, Ms. McCulley. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Serrano. Any discussion on the general orders? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. That motion is approved. And the next item is C, the consideration of final approval for ordinance 2023-OR-05, establishing vehicle towing fees. This was introduced on September 13th, 2023. Oh, actually, it says approved on September. Okay, so this is for the final approval of our ordinance 2023. Is there a motion to approve our ordinance 2023-OR-05?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. McCulley. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Turbeville? Was that you?
Yes, that was me.
Fantastic. Any discussion on this ordinance? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Perfect. Thank you so much. That motion is approved. And thank you again, Chief, for listening to our request and the doing what's right for the town. The next item is D, the consideration of approval of an agreement with the Maryland Department of Agriculture to conduct weekly mosquito spraying from May 26th through September 30th. I'll yield the floor to our town administrator to expound on the mosquito spraying that we do every year.
Thank you, Mayor. The Maryland State sends this out to us and ultimately the county will end up billing us. We just received the bill for the 2023 season. It was about $1,300. So they do spray May 26th through the 30th on Tuesday nights, late in the night. They do not spray if there's inclement weather or bad weather. a notice will go out in our newsletter to also through social media, so that if anyone has questions or concerns about the use of the spray or the type of spray, they can certainly contact the state, and they will provide them that information. And if we have any objections, obviously they can contact town hall. You know, does this do any good? Well, I think it certainly doesn't hurt. It, there's going to be mosquitoes. The key is to try to keep standing water from happening or occurring on your property, and making sure that there isn't a place for mosquitoes to hatch. But we have done this for a number of years, and I would recommend that we continue.
Is there a motion to approve our mosquito spraying for the season?
I have to
I'll
read
make
that
the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ronald. Second by Ms. Turberville. All
Yeah.
right.
That's good.
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Wonderful. The next item is item E, nope. 5, our police department report, which will also include our code enforcement. Police Chief Beal.
Good evening. So I'm gonna start off with the code enforcement report. As we all know, Steve has been doing an amazing job with the code enforcement. He has been tracking down each business that hasn't or is not in good standards with the state. He's been able to resolve those issues within a short period of time. Some of them are actually resolving the issue the same day. He's going to continue to work on that. He actually is working on the feral cat situation now, myself and him. We are coming up with a game plan to try to rectify this as soon as we can, especially before the summertime. As far as the police side goes, the officers were able to impound 14 cars last month, I'm sorry, 2 of which were recovered stolen, many thanks to our license plate readers, which are the cameras that's mounted on the back of the police vehicles. As a police officer is on patrol, it scans various tags, and if it comes up as a stolen vehicle, we recover that vehicle either with a suspect in custody or as an abandoned vehicle and give back to its rightful owner. And I think that's all I have. Actually, so for the calls for service, we had no violent crimes, thank God again, in the town of Edmonston. Mainly just the theft from autos and theft reports stemming from the industrial part of the town. Any questions on the police report? So, we are also, like I said, every Sunday is our parking enforcement. I'm actually redesigning the parking permits for visitors. I've noticed some business owners actually have visitor permits along Hamilton and 46 area. So I'm in the process of redesigning the parking permit for the visitors, and then I'll present it to you guys at the mayor and the town council for approval. And we will get rid of the old hanger placard ones and reissue out the new ones. So that way we can it's mainly to keep track of who has which permits. Like I said, a lot of business owners, they're parking illegal cars and other cars throughout the town, which is taking up the parking from the residents and their families when they want to have events. So our main thing is just to identify those shops who are parking illegally inside the town, whether it's an abandoned car, unregistered car, junk car, and then they're leaving it there. And majority of the times, those are the vehicles that are stolen. What happens is a suspect will actually park the vehicle in the neighborhood to make it blend in like a resident or a regular visitor car. So it goes unbeknownst to us, but when residents call and say, hey, that car has been sitting for a long period of time, we go check it out. And indeed, it is a stolen vehicle. And that's another way that we recover stolen vehicles here in town.
Chief, 2 businesses over on 46 have economic development agreements with the town where they're provided visitor passes for their employees. That's Doyle Printing and Glass Contractors. And they have a set amount. So you may want to design something different for them so that people know that that's their employees parking on Hamilton and Gallatin or wherever they park.
Thank you. I didn't know that part, so thank you.
Yeah.
I would go back and add it.
I think it's 10 spaces for one and maybe 6 for the other. But we can pull the agreements and look at them.
And that is all I have. I think you're still muted, Mayor. You're muted.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, sir. Catching on to that. Mr. Barnes, if you could remind me, we did that with Doyle and the other company. Was that when their parking lot was, well, they came to us with that request? Or
Yes,
was it when the,
correct. Yeah, correct.
oh.
They came to you as they grew and expanded. Doyle Printing has 65 employees and they don't have 65 parking spaces obviously on site. So
So
I'm
let me
guess
ask this, are we charging?
no, we do not charge Doyle. That was, as I said, an economic development agreement that the council signed with them for expansion of their business. And then glass contractors, they were paying, but it didn't seem like if Doyle was not paying, keeping glass contractors here was an economic development incentive for us too. So they have not paid for the last year. And their numbers have dropped from the teens down to just less than 5.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll probably have to have a discussion about that if any other business comes our way for that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
certainly
that
something we
seemed
could
like it had-
negotiate, saying, it's time to renegotiate the agreements. But I know that Mr. Anthony came to me just recently from Doyle Printing asking me if I could identify any property where he could park, or where he could acquire some space to park. And of course, there just isn't any in the 46th
Yeah.
Avenue new
Yeah.
industrial park.
Yeah. Okay. And you can continue to have the floor for your report.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Chief Field.
The big news today, as you all saw, is the text was, if you heard a loud cheer down at Town Hall, is because Jamila, our CCCC member, wrote her first grant with an all-hands proposal to Chesapeake Bay Trust with her compatriot over at Eco City Farms to bring all 50 of the CCC members to town on July 12th to work on our rain gardens. They're going to also work on a project over at Eco City Farms. So she was quite happy and excited about that, and we're thrilled to have that. This is the second time we've been able to obtain the all hands grant for doing that. You also saw the note, but this is for the public's consideration. We received a CBT Prince George's County Stormwater Management Grant to build rain gardens on 47th and 49th Avenues that will be happening later this year. Casino night is this Friday at the Rec Center, 6 p.m. to 8 for anyone that wants to come on down, have fun, enjoy bingo, enjoy some food, enjoy some fellowship, and it's always a good time for the group that shows up. Miss Coney worked with a local church to secure a cleanup for Saturday. This coming Saturday, 60 young people will be here to pick up trash along the levee and along Kenilworth Avenue. Jamilith is leading up that charge. And so we're excited to that. And we thank you, Coney, for bringing those folks to us. Certainly, well, the trash along Kenilworth, as we looked at it today between Fletcher's Field and Elizabeth Landing, there is plenty of trash to pick up. And there is also plenty of trash along the river from the rec center over to Decatur Street. We have a summer Edmonston spring break camp happening the week of March 25th to March 29th. Jamila is doing that every day, 1 to 3, arts and crafts. There'll be snacks. She's got lots of volunteers helping out, helping out. They're going to be making banners for Edmonston Day for the marching in the parade, and also be doing other activities for children. Riverdale Elementary just announced a soccer program at the rec center field starting that same week. So we'll be getting information out on that. So 2 activities for our youth to get involved in here locally during their spring break. And I believe, Mayor, that is all I have for this evening.
Fantastic. Any questions for Mr. Barnes?
Rod, that's great about the camp. I remember when we had that summer camp, and that was like such an awesome thing. So, just to be sure, have we done whatever vetting we need to do of volunteers who would be in contact with young people for that?
Oh, yes, backgrounds, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. That's all done, or it needs
I
to be.
don't know that it's all done, but it will be before.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome.
Super. Any other questions? Comments?
Oh, just one follow-up. We did have a meeting with Judge Deloach this last week to talk about some projects you're going to be seeing. We're going to move forward on potential condemnation and demolition of the house on Decatur Street, the 2-story that's been empty for years and years and years. We believe it's now unsanitary and unfit and uninhabitable. So hopefully the owners, once we start the process and send out the notice, and the owners will respond and perhaps fix the home up. The second home we're going to be doing that too is on 52nd Avenue, and the only reason we're delaying a little bit on it is it's up on the tax sale. It's sold at tax sale, and so there's a redemption period. Judge Deloach is working on figuring that out. We'll be meeting with his fellow person to work on annexation review for up on 53rd and Edmonston Road, and I believe those were the 2 things that came out of that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Barnes. And to move on to town council discussion, is there any topic or anything any town council member, I don't think it's Ms. McCulley, Ms. Tuberville, or Ms. Serrano? You can unmute if you have a comment or have a report. Ms.
I
Serrano?
don't have anything, but just for Saturday, I know a lot of the youth would love to meet as many other council members and the mayor. So if you could come out even just to say hi when they arrive, it would be really great.
Excellent, indeed.
And I believe that time is 3 o'clock.
Mhm. I think I'm signed up.
What
Am I
time?
signed up?
3 o'clock. And Mr. Johnson, we were going to
Oh,
ask
there you
you
go.
if you would man the gym and pick up the trash along the way as it gets set there.
Yeah, all right.
I think that, oh, it's at 3. I think that I'm signed up as well. Is that correct, Mr. Barnes? Did you say, you're muted? Oh, that might be for Earth Day. I don't know.
Yeah, Earth Day
Oh,
in
okay.
April. This one is
Okay.
one that Councilmember Serrano set up
So, okay,
unexpectedly with a church, and so we're really happy to have it.
Ms. Serrano, I may not be able to stop by, but it'll be great if there is a council member that would be available. I have a funeral to attend, and while it's early, I think 10 or 11, after. So I may not be able to make it back in time enough. But if I do, 3 o'clock is an excellent time, and I will be there if I can. And thank you for being able to gather up some volunteers to help clean up our community, that's for sure. Any other council member? Oh, did you have anything else, Ms. Serrano? Nope.
Nope, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
I have a
Mr.
question.
Mhm.
This isn't really an Edmonston issue, but it affects our town. The amount of trash that has accumulated on, like, when you come off of 295 onto Killingworth Avenue, it's like, I don't know which jurisdiction that is, if it's Cheverly, if it's Bladensburg, if it's the district, whatever it might be. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? If you're headed like off of 295 and you immediately
Yeah.
pass,
Is it just
Yeah.
before the split to 50 or?
it's just after the split. So it's like you go this way down Kenilworth and this way to continue on 295 north.
Yeah, that's PG County.
It's the county right there.
Mhm.
Okay.
But under the roadway,
Um,
anytime an accident happens, it falls within Prince George's County. Now, the grassy area, it still may be the county because it isn't technically on the parkway. So I think the grassy area will be the Park County as well.
I suspect, yeah, that there's some sort of like it's in some sort of I don't know world, right? Where like it doesn't belong to any, but it is, that's how a lot of people enter the port towns in general, and it's unbelievable the amount of trash that has accumulated there. And I wondered if we might be able to kind of investigate who would be responsible for that.
I look into it. I know, I think it will probably be Public Works for the county, but I'll reach out and make sure it's not state highway as well.
Okay, because it's a weird spot because Kenilworth is state highway, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would guess yeah, it's a combination and they're both kind of pointing fingers probably who needs
Exactly.
to do it, but it's also the off ramp on Kenilworth as you go towards Dakota Crossing on what is that?
New York Avenue.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's equally as bad.
Right by the Shell station.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the gas station. Then there's
Yes.
that weird exit
Yes.
you get onto.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that it's so there, and then this is sort of further down, right? This is like where
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
It's-
Sarah, but I just those two things are
Call Ellie.
For some reason, she does not answer mine.
are two areas that just really bug you because like you said, when you're coming down to get onto Kenilworth from 295, you see all that trash and you're essentially entering into the port towns when you hit
Yeah.
Kenilworth and when you hit the Pepsi or see the Pepsi plant and everything, it's just kind of disheartening because there's furniture, there's tires, there's pieces of
crazy.
car, there's just a little bit of everything. I used to blame it on the district, but I don't think it's the district. I think it's mainly state highway in the county.
Okay, because I imagine, I mean, that's also like an entrance to Cheverly. It's entrance to Williamsburg.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
and
yeah.
right, I would imagine a lot of folks are displeased with that. So I wondered if we might be able to kind of
I think
Chief,
try to
I
get
have
whoever's
the
responsible to.
I have the contact for our district for state highway if you want me to. If we could drop a map maybe and then I could see what they say at least.
Yeah, and if I can be useful at making a phone call or whatever, let me know. So, yeah.
Because the county executive has it as a big initiative to clean up the highways, and she spends millions and millions. I just saw the report just came out for last year, and they picked up I forget how many tons, but it was an outrageous number. 925 tons of litter was collected for 2023. So she spends millions of dollars of her budget to take care of that.
Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Bill.
That was one thing. The other thing I just wanted to
Mhm.
flag for the chief that I've noticed particularly is like the weather's gotten a little bit better this week. For example, there's more people in the park up and down Tanglewood, and yet like cars are flying down there. And I know that that's another place where like the jurisdiction is a little funky. But I didn't know if it was at all possible for any of our officers to, or even to like just place like a decoy car or something that would just get people to slow down a little bit. I
Yeah,
really
we can make an
worry
initiative for that. I never knew, like I sit there sometimes and I see some people, well, I guess when they see my
Mhm.
truck, of course, they're gonna slow down. But what it is they're flying from Riverdale Park, so we can't get them for speeding until they enter Edmonston. But by that time, they see our cars. So we definitely making an initiative because I think it happens more so at sunset, when they don't see anybody out there and they think there's nobody out there. So
I mean, I've seen it in the middle of the day, or like right after Riverdale Elementary School lets out, for example. So,
No, we can definitely deal with
I
that.
did
I
just
agree.
propose to Riverdale Park to maybe think about us jointly going in for a grant to build a trail through there so that we could get people off the street,
the
because
road.
people walk with their children, they walk with strollers, and there's no curb, there's no, they're right in the street. And so two-way traffic really pushes, you have to stop, let the other car go by and the walkers go. And so it is I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. And so I did propose in a meeting I had this week with their grant writer from Riverdale Park, that could we maybe look at, and we were meeting with a representative from State Highway and their trails program. I said, could we maybe look at jointly doing a grant where we could put a trail through there, where a walking trail where people could be on that versus out in the street.
That's great.
And also, when they're giving out the food down there, you have cars
Yeah.
parked on both sides. You have people trying to walk down,
Mhm.
and you have the
Yeah.
cars that are, it's bumper cars.
Mhm.
So I think having a walking path would help greatly to
Mhm.
get
Yeah.
everybody off the road.
Mhm.
And I also wanted to add that in our block, this is happening a lot on 52nd. Actually, Betsy and I were outside chatting, I think last night, and someone was just flying down the street. And it's concerning because when I got home today, there were 3 children and their bikes playing outside. And so it's just kind of scary how inconsiderate people are when driving down these streets.
That's amazing. They're speeding down 52nd, where
Oh,
you are.
they
Like they could barely get through.
they
So,
fly, and I'm almost betting that the car that did flip over was a car that does it, or used to do it quite often. Come down the street, because they'd hit that speed bump and they get a little airborne, and off we
Mhm.
go.
A couple
Mhm.
things we can do there is, that street's one of them getting repaved here in the next few weeks. And also when the sidewalk goes in, there's going to become some bump outs. The bump outs are at the fire hydrants. There's one at this, close to Decatur. There's a fire hydrant right in front of the Aben house hold. And so there'll be a bump out there. So that will narrow the lane down, which hopefully will slow down. But I noticed, as you talked about, Councilman or Councilperson Serrano, that I noticed the speed bump. I thought it was actually closer to Crittenden than it is, but it's really quite a ways from Crittenden. So we might be, once the new street's paved, we might even look at putting 2 speed bumps. One, like so far in from Crittenden, and then one so far in from Decatur, and then that way you couldn't gain speed without hitting one of those bumps. It's just a thought. Kind of like we used to have that problem here in front of Town Hall, and we put the bump up in the next block on 52nd, and then we put the one in front of Town Hall, and it really absolutely slowed the traffic down. And this is a major thoroughfare usually with the cut through people do to try to avoid Kenilworth.
And Rod, I agree with you. I think with the bump outs we're going to have, that's going to slow it down, along with the speed bump we already have. So if we put a second one in, I think it'd probably be closer down to Crittenden Street.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I never think speed humps slow people down because they're just humps, but if it works, fine. Yeah.
I mean,
and
the speed bumps in Emerson, I think, have slowed some people down. Like, there's still some egregious offenders, but for the most part, like, it's not like it was before we had them. Because it's like a straightaway. And I wonder, do we have any use in town? I think it's interesting the way the district has approached like protected bike lanes, right? By like, you've got sidewalk, bike lane, and then the street parking.
exactly.
So that the
Yeah.
street parking protects protect cyclists and pedestrians.
All right.
We do have a grant to add what I would consider to be a protective bike lane on Lafayette. We're going to be putting those little skinny ballards up all the way from Taylor down to Ingraham. And then Chief has requested that we do that same thing on the bike lane on Buchanan. I don't think we want to do that on Decatur, but we can certainly do it like on 51st Avenue, and that would help with what the mayor wants to do. I also have them doing that at the end of 51st and Crittenden. They're going to put up these little skinny things. Hyattsville uses them a lot, and the mayor's been wanting some there to stop the one way going the wrong way. And if we, I met with the contractor 2 days ago and showed him where to do that. And so I think, Sarah, that'll help a lot with those, the ones I'm talking about. But I don't know about moving parking, like on Lafayette over to the side where the bike lane is, but that's certainly something the district's done a lot of.
Yeah, I just wanted to raise as we're thinking about sort of reconfiguring different streets and things, that's just another way to protect pedestrians from lunatics on the road through Edmonston. Anyway, thanks everyone. This is super great discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Tuberville. Ms. McCauley or Mr. Johnson?
I didn't really have anything at the moment.
All right. Thank you so much. Just going back to, just this last discussion about the protected bike lanes and about the speeding. Chief, if possible, council, along with the chief, I think maybe we can take some time during one of our budget meetings, one that's not really long, to discuss some of the ideas that we have to slow down traffic. Excuse me. We want to be careful of, I can see it. Like I can see some of these protected lanes, just driving through, of course, DC and Hyattsville and seeing some of the creativity. I'd like to discuss it with the council before we start just putting things here or there. Maybe having a discussion about how it looks, what's feasible. Maybe, I don't know if Mike Claire is in on this at all. I don't know who's in on this, Mr. Barnes, but I'm just having a discussion so that we can be part of some of the aesthetics, should I say, of this, because I have this idea in my head and these ideas may not be feasible, but maybe we can come up with some type of medium, especially for 52nd, also Decatur and Tanglewood and others. So just so that we all know what the layout is. And maybe we do have maybe others have some creative ideas. I like the protected lanes and colors and things like that. So
yeah, it's not Mike Claire, it's Pannoni, and we can have them Pannoni can do whatever needs to be to look at ideas. They're the ones doing the work right now on designing the closure at Ingraham and Lafayette.
Yeah, so we can decide when we want to kind of have that discussion, when there's a shorter agenda.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, okay, thanks. And then the other, about the park in Tanglewood, of course, I think that's Park Police or State Police, is that correct, Chief?
Maryland Park Police, we have jurisdiction up until once you pass the rec center, that little opening right there, that's where our jurisdictional line stops. Actually, we always got to the giant pavilion. After that, the jurisdictional line stop. But we can still enforce traffic. The thing is, as long as they're not past that pavilion, we should be good.
Okay, because I don't know who threw it out there, but I think it could be something similar to a partnership. We talked about a grant, but we need to work with them as well because again, that's their jurisdiction, but it affects our residents and the safety of those who are utilizing the park. And the food distribution, we don't want that to end, but there needs to be some type of control there. And then also, I am looking to talk with you, Chief, about changing the direction of our food distribution because it is affecting Decatur and it's also affecting Kenilworth Avenue. And so I'm thinking we need to have it go through the park just like the other church does. But we need to figure out how that can happen. I mean, I know it can happen, but again, we need some control.
So what I was thinking was having the first person, Mr. Kaufman, who's normally there, if he actually parks on the opposite side of the town hall's driveway and then have the security that the church employs, if he could just have people lined up by Mr. Kaufman and make sure they're not blocking the driveways, we can have it run all the way up to the rec center with no problem.
Okay.
Probably need
more
it would
direction
go
or
past the
something
rec
too.
center by quite a ways, since I think, although part of the trouble this last Saturday might have been the rain, but Chief, it wrapped all the way up to Elizabeth's Landing.
It happens. It has gone to
it's
Elizabeth's
common.
Landing. It's not the first time, but it's also Decatur. You can't maneuver around Decatur, and individuals who are going straight, they kind of get stuck because they don't know. Yeah. And then you have people coming out and others trying to get around, and it's just not.
So what I would think is have the lines come up the wrong way instead of them how they come now, just coming through the back and coming on the side of where Rod's office at. If they actually just come and make the immediate left, because what happened is as people are coming in, if they're going back out towards the park, it's going to be that congestion right there because somebody's going to stay in line. So we had that single file. Okay, you come up the wrong way to town hall, grab your food box, and then come out and make the left and go straight down 50 seconds towards Decatur. I think that'd be a lot better.
Right. Yep. I think so. That just making an out instead of an in. Yep.
And I'm gonna bring up something. I'm gonna go back to the walking path through the park. We did once approach Park and Plain about having a path put in, and they were like, no. So
it was a brush off. It was a brush off.
Yeah, very quickly. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to jump off. I'm gonna try to jump back on in about 10 minutes. If I don't, sorry guys.
No problem. Thank you so much, Ms. McCullough.
All right.
And then Ms. Tuberville, the trash situation, it's been happening for years over there by 295. I think they have some type of pickup. I think I don't know if the state does that with the those in the orange.
I saw a truck.
Oh, yeah.
Litter pickup that was on the 50 exit off of 295 right there, right? And I should have looked to see like whose truck that was. But I didn't.
I don't know if it's inmates or what.
I think it is inmates because they came to town hall. The driver actually came to town hall with the inmates on the van to use the bathroom and then hit one of the police cars in the parking lot.
Oh my.
So it is definitely the inmates coming down to clean up.
Yeah. So I think that with that and making a phone call to county, because I believe it's county as well, and the state. And as many of us that can do it, the more, the merrier. Just like Pepco and WSSC. More calls made, the more they know or understand that there is an issue, and maybe they can do it more often. I think that they just don't do it often enough. And then maybe getting in touch with Chevrolet to do the same thing, because it's not necessarily coming into Port Towns, but it ends up being that right after Chevrolet, it's Bladensburg. So maybe we can get them on board as well. So
I can reach out to Nicole Brenner. She's
okay.
Her and my daughter were classmates.
Superb.
Yeah.
So and if you want to share that info, we can all kind of make that phone call and go, oh my God, all the trash, because more trash is coming. I don't know what's happening. We have more trash companies and more dump companies. But Chief, I think you're muted this time. Or you're talking to someone else? Yeah, he's talking to someone else. So, yep, all good points. Thank you so very much. I don't have anything else. Yep, I don't have anything else. And if I do, I wrote it down and I can't understand my writing sometimes. I think I wrote it too fast. I don't know what I said. Oh, I did want to mention that we tabled the non-citizens voting, but Mr. Barnes and I looked up information on the surrounding communities and what their ordinance or charter says, and we got some really good information. I'm sorry, Ms. McCauley is not on right now, but we got some really good information, and I think that it'll be something that we can do without any major issues. But I understand us having that knowledge before we go out and do anything, of course, is very important. And we can bring that up again during one of our work sessions, and then see if we can approve or not approve the charter change. Okay. So again, thank you, Ms. Serrano, for bringing that up for Edmonston. And if that's all I have, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, what we will do is adjourn this meeting, go into the closed session just to discuss personnel, and then we can adjourn from that meeting, from the closed session. So I'll accept a motion to close our town council meeting for tonight. I thank you everyone for your attendance and your participation. I'll accept the motion to go into a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into our closed session.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you so much, Ms. Serrano. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Mr. Johnson. Oh, Mr. Johnson, he got in on that. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
For what?
Aye.
I'm here.
Oh, sir. Oh,
Yeah, this is Jason. Yeah, if this is the official motion to go into closed session, the motion needs to state who is going to be in the closed session.
oh, okay. So just state that I need Mr. Barnes in there.
Yeah, and any,
Correct.
mayor and council, Mr. Barnes.
Oh, state mayor and council closed session. Oh, wow. Okay. So let's I'll amend my motion there. My motion request is to close this session, close our town council meeting session, to go into a closed session with the mayor and town council to include the town administrator and to discuss a personnel matter. Maybe Judge, you could just come in on that as well.
Sure. Yep.
And Chief, it's not really necessary for you to be in on this closed session if you want to depart. So, did you get that motion, Ms. Serrano?
I did. I'll make the motion.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Johnson, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All right. Good night, everybody, and thank you again.
Good night.
Rick will drop everyone and we'll go into our closed session.